Josh Patin here with Team Westside disc, and this is what's in my bag for the 2023 season. Start off with my putting putters first. I putt out with BT Hard shields. I've been using these for 4 or 5 years. I just love the shields. It's consistent, it's got a consistent stability. I'm a spin putter, and it just fights the wind really well. It holds into the wind and headwind. I can pump it really hard. And I like a putter that has a little bit of extra stability, so it kind of forces me to really put a lot of power into the putt. So that helps me get in the chains more consistently. I go to my throwing putters. I throw shields. I have a BT Hard shield that's a little bit straighter for throwing. I use this for straight shots. I can even throw a little ante on it for turnovers. And then I have one TP shield, tournament plastic shield that I use. It's got a little more stability. It's got my original Tour Series stamp. And I use this for just hyzer up shots, 200, 250 feet. It's really nice, consistent, a little bit windier. I'll use this. Go over to mid-ranges now. I carry 3 gatekeepers right now. I have, this one is my oldest gatekeeper. It's a tournament plastic gatekeeper. This one's been in my bag the longest. It's a little beat in. I can use this, throw it with a little hyzer, it'll flip up the flat and hold it straight for a while. If I throw it flat, it'll just hold that angle. It'll start riding over a little to the right before it finishes straight. Nice, consistent. I'll just put this one in the bag. It's a newer one. It's a little bit straighter, it's fresh. So if it gets a little bit windier, I can use this one. Same thing, it's a tournament plastic gatekeeper. Love that. Tournament plastic's my favorite type of plastic. Then I have my newest one I just put in the bag. It's a hybrid plastic. I just got my stamp made with these, and these are great. They're a little bit softer, but it's got a little extra stability. So I really like these. I've been testing them out. I only got them a few weeks ago, and it made my bag instantly. So this is a nice compliment to these gatekeepers. I have one Fusion X Verdict that I use in the bag. It's a little bit more stable than the Compass. I use this for sidearms, a little bit for backhands, hyzers. Just got a little bit more consistency than the gatekeepers in the wind, or just up shots where I like to use it for a hyzer. Then if it gets really windy, I have one tournament plastic anvil. Everybody's got to have that one wind fighting mid-range, just that straight beef, and that's what this one's for. I use this sidearms, backhands, just a really good disc to fight the wind. Move on to fairway drivers now. Currently using 4 Audis. That is my favorite fairway driver. I have 3 tournament plastic ones and then 1 VIP X. This is my oldest one, the most broken one. I've been having this in my bag probably 4 years now. It's got a little bit, it's a little straighter. So I can use this. I like to use this for forehands in the woods or backhands. It'll hold that line a little bit longer before it has a consistent fade at the end. This one's kind of the next step up. It's a little bit more stable. It's a tournament plastic one. Nice team stamp. I've got a few aces with this one. Then the next step up is another tournament plastic one. This one's got a little bit more stability. If it gets a little windy or if I need it to hook up hard, I'll bust this one out. And then this is my newest one, Matt Oram Signature Series Audi. This is a VIP X, and this one is just money. It's nice and stable. It's really beefy. I can trust it into a wind, headwind. If I got OB or I'm throwing over water or something, I'll trust this one to finish overstable every single time. This Audi is a really nice compliment. Let's see, I'll carry right now 2 Explorers, Gold Line Explorers. This is a match play one. This one's my straightest one. I throw this one if I need a dead straight shot. This is like a rope. I can throw this probably 350, 370, and it holds that line for a good while. Love the Explorer. This one's another Explorer. It's a little bit beefier. If it's a little bit windier, if I need it to get left, a little bit more overstable. This is a Mason Maxwell special right here, Midwest Dye Labs. Then I also have one Glory that I just added to the bag recently. I really love this plastic. This is the Royal Glory. It feels really good in my hand. I like the dome, and it's just, I don't know. It's something about it, I like it. I like that it's a little bit slower. I can use it for hyzers, and it's really finding a nice slide in my bag. So I think I'm gonna end up sticking with it. Move on to my distance drivers now. I have two, these are kind of hybrids. These are tweeners. I have a Fortress and a Getaway. This is my Tournament Fortress. It's a little bit older. It's broken in a little bit, so I can use this one for straight, slight turnovers maybe. If I throw it nice and hard, flat, it'll maybe ride to the right a little bit and then eventually fade back at the end. And then I have one hybrid Getaway that I just added to the bag. Those Fortresses are getting harder to find, so I want to test out this Getaway, and I'm really liking this Getaway right now. It's got a little dome to it. It's got a little pop top right there, and it's a little bit more beefy. It's got a little bit more stability, a little bit more finish than the Fortress. It's really a nice compliment to it. So I've been experimenting. This one's pretty new to my bag too, but I'm liking it a lot. I think it's gonna end up staying there. So. All right, these are what I use for backhands. I have a couple defenders that I'm using in the bag that are a little bit older, so they're good just for the most understable ones I have. I use this Fusion Defender for rollers mostly. I can throw this one, just mash on it with a little ante, and it'll just get to the ground, and I can roll this for 500 plus feet. It's a nice, good roller disc. Then I have this one. It's pretty much for tailwinds. If I need to get a disc to turn over, I'll throw it up in the air high, get it to fight over to the right. The Rives are my newest distance driver to the bag, and I'm really loving the Rives. I've got currently 3 in my bag that I'm using, and I'm trying to break them in to eventually replace the Defenders. This is my oldest Rive. It's kind of straight-ish, a little bit straighter than my Defender, and this one eventually hoping to break into where I'll be able to start cycling it for turnovers and even maybe rollers. Then I have 2 Orbit Rives that I'm using currently. These are awesome. I love the Orbit plastic. The Orbit Rives to me have a little bit more stability, and I just love these. I'm hoping eventually to break this one into multiples into where I don't have to have any of the stock stamp ones, because this Orbit plastic's great. I don't know why. It's got a little more dome than the stock stamps. I can just bomb these really hard, and they'll hold glide for a while, but then they'll fade at the end. The Rive's like the best distance driver to me in the lineup, and I love their plastic. And this Silver Lot one, just a little bit more stable. It doesn't really flip up. It'll fight the wind a little bit more and hook up to the left. And then if it gets really windy out, I carry 2 adders, VIP adders. This one's my older one. I started this probably in the bag a little year and a half. Started breaking a little bit, so I added a fresh one. And this one is a little bit more stable than that one. That one's been in my bag for a year plus now, so it's kind of getting a little bit broken in. This one's a fresh one. It's real overstable, so I love using this for spike hyzers, anything into a headwind. Great disc. Basically, I use the adders pretty much strictly for backhands. For sidearms, distance drivers, I pretty much strictly just use Defenders. I've got some old hybrid Defenders with Chris Clemonade ones. They got a nice dome to them, and for some reason, I don't know why this run, but it's just nice and stable. I got a stack of about 12 of them 3-4 years ago, and I've just been using them for years, ever since. Nice Mason Maxwell die right there, another one. All 3 of these actually. This one's my oldest one. It's starting to break in a little bit. It holds that line. I can throw this for 350. Sidearm and hold that line straight for a while before it fades at the end. This one right here is a little more stable. It's got a little bit more consistency fighting in the wind. And the next one, this one is just my meat hook. This is a hybrid Defender. I don't know what's up with this one, but it's just silly. It's so overstable. If it gets like 30-mile-an-hour winds, I'll bust this one out. Great wind fighting disc. I have one utility disc usually in the bag that I use. It's an OptoX Compass. I use it basically just for straight forehands. It feels so consistent in my hand. It's just comfortable. It feels really good because it's nice and flat. I can just whip this in the woods. I use it for upshots. It just holds a good straight line. I can put a little pop on it, and it just holds that line perfectly. So I love using this for sidearm upshots specifically. Well, that's what's in my bag. Thank y'all for watching.